we work in UX problems, there are a lot of times we keep on saying something in the industry or wherever you work that let's use this pattern, right? So what is a pattern in UX is extremely crucial. See, when you look at a smartphone of a Samsung smartphone versus a Oppo smartphone, they ideally should look different. So they try to bring out some differences, right? But when we talk about UX, the usability part of it, not the look and feel part of it. The look and feel part is called UI, and the usability or the way we interact with the product, that is the UX. So there are a lot of parts which people build some muscle memory in their brain. Like let us go to examples like Mintra. You go to my orders. Okay, Mintra. So in Mintra, if you look at it, let's say I go to this I go to men and I go to jackets. So this is pattern of e-commerce. So anyone can call out any other e-commerce website, Amazon, then Flipkart, anything else, Agio, yes. Then we have eBay. So when you look at all these are all similar classification wise, they are similar kind of product. So all of their jobs to be done is what? To help you buy products digitally, right? These are digital commerce platforms. So like you go to a mall, you go to a shop, you buy a product, you go to this place, you do shopping. That is the end jobs to be done. You go and you buy stuff. So when you have the same jobs to be done, if you look at all of these examples, you will see that they share some common philosophies across, right? So it starts with a like a broad search bar on the top for everyone. So there is search on the top coming up. So yeah, let us go through the UX part, and that is extremely important for all of you to work on your projects and all. So so when you look at this whole product holistically, when you go to the homepage of Flipkart, you will see that there are some sections. See, there is a carousel part. This is kind of the advertisement section. So this has an advertisement section. Here also you can see an advertisement section, right? And when you go to eBay, this also has an advertisement section, right? So eBay and Flipkart and Amazon to now, because of different Diwali season and all those things, they bring this thing. But it still has this advertisement section. See, it's a carousel, right? So this similarity of thing, it meets a higher level jobs to be done for the end user. The end user is going to a mall and then they are seeing some billboards, right? While entering the mall, something is saying, that this fashion thing is coming up, this food joint is coming up, or this electronics, this smartphone is there. So it builds some, lower term, like short term memory in your brain when you're entering into the mall. It makes you biased also that, oh, okay, without this advertisement, then things will be hidden inside such a huge universe of products, right? So this also becomes a space for what? Paid promotion. So whenever, let's say some company wants to bring their product. So when outside a mall, whoever has gone to Ambience Mall in Gurgaon, you'll see a lot of billboards outside. So are those billboards for free? Anyone can go and put their things over there? No, right? You have to pay money for that, because that's a prime real estate. People are entering the mall through the main driveway and they are getting influenced through those advertisements. This is also an important thing. But what Amazon is doing, that Amazon is advertising their categories with offers going on. And these are all nudges for you to click and go inside, right? And this is where, they are in e-commerce. The biggest pattern that, you can observe is e-commerce is full of containers of nudges. So this yellow zone is a container of top deals of exchange. Trending deals, another container. And these are small containers. Then again, blockbuster deal container. Then another, minimum 60% of container. So they have actually classified their thing. Imagine it's like a huge Chandni Chowk market, but there are separate lanes for electronics, separate lanes for clothes. So they are classifying using that real world metaphor, try to put it in this whole thing. So when you are asked to design an e-commerce store, you have to look at these kind of UX patterns. These are not UI patterns, these are UX patterns. Here also you'll see lot of containers. Juicer, mixer, grinder, it is not about Preeti. It can be Preeti, Philips and more. Whoever has paid them money, their name is going to come here, right? Then if you look at this one, Motorola, they must have paid money for them to, appear in this kind of a, huge important real estate like this. So this also has containers. So the way you design the containers, sometimes if you just, keep on making the containers row after row after row, it becomes extremely boring and monotonous for people. So just like every lane can have a different kind of a color, lighting, create a vibe of that place. So as you can see, this best gadget and appliance, what they have done is that they have 4 gadgets of different categories and one top selling smartphone thing. So they can also charge you different kinds of money for promoting your stuff in this platform. And that's how these platforms, they are making money, right? Like that. So again, container. This is another type of container. So a set of four, and then a card. Here, what did we see? A set of 4 and a big card, right? And sometimes you're going to see, okay, again, see, set of 4 and big card. Do you see this particular thing and this thing? They are the same component in Figma. It's the same component, just replaced with different data, right? As you can see. So that's how, they are going to scale this system to break the monotony. They are going to create different types of containers, and that's how they are going to see. This is also the same component, but just different things. And when you go to eBay also, you can go here, find your favorites, discover kaleidoscope of cards. See, this is what they have created these kind of discovery things. Now this is one way of one UX pattern. But then there is another UX pattern. Once you go inside something, let's say I go inside this yoga mat. Now then what happens is that I should also be able to go to the entire universe. That's why on the top I have, I have, this, all those things, they become part of my navigation. So when I go and hit inside these towels, on the, top hand side, if you see, I can go to this mega universe of the entire e-commerce platform of Flipkart, right? That means although I'm in towel, I should be able to go to home and furnishing and wall lamp. And I should be able to go to sports books and more and gaming consoles. So for me to switch the context of, this, look at window shopping thing, it's, context of one product to other product, I should be doing in Flip like this. That's how the navigation should be. So a pattern in UX we can say is that it's one click context change is a pattern. In Amazon also, I'm in the context of, this NBR yoga mat. I can go to table tennis and it brings me to the entire world of table tennis like that. I can go to eBay, and on the eBay also, left hand side, as you can see, I can go here, shop by category, and from here I can go deeper. So the way these things come up might be different, but the UX pattern remains same. Same is when you're going to search, if you see, you can search based on categories. Isn't it exactly the same for Amazon, that you can search based on categories? Isn't it also the same for Flipkart? No, Flipkart, they didn't use it. For Agio, they also didn't do it. But see, eBay and Amazon, they have this category defining thing. Now, where did Amazon define the category? Before the search. And then they define the category after the search. So this becomes a UX pattern, that a search experience by pinpointing the category, so that you find within that category. I'll say, let's say I can go to stamps, and within stamps, rare. So it is going to find me rare stamps for me. That becomes, but go look at the highest level jobs to be done. We are here to do shopping, but then as part of shopping, this particular experience is called discovery, right? This is discovery. When I am trying to find something with or without an intent, So this discovery becomes a larger UX pattern. For e-commerce, discovery works like this. If you guys know, and if you when you actually start working, will feel discovery is one of those huge parts that drives all user experiences, because we're in the world of information technology. We are getting lot of data. Go to Spotify. Isn't discovery an important part of Spotify? Right? But the way you discover stuff is different. So you have search, you are looking for music, but can you also not have that category drop down, choose Telugu and then you search? This is where we're talking about UX pattern, which is domain in product above that. So are you guys now connecting UX pattern what it is? So for me, discovery is the problem to be solved. I can go to Netflix. Netflix also discovery, but these people they created discovery like this. But Netflix also has search, titles, people, genre, and every time you search something, let's say horror. I haven't even typed, but it has given me so many results, right? So the way this search result happened, that I could have typed humor also, right? So when I have typed H, Netflix doesn't know horror or humor, so it is mixing everything. If I go humor route, HUM, then it goes humor route, right? Or human, right? See, now it will go humor route, sense of humor. So this automatically populating the stuff as and when we are typing. Do you guys remember any common platform where this same thing happens? Right? This happens here. But in Spotify, does it happen? If I write, see, Spotify also happens. So how the result of that pattern comes, the UI may look different, but the UX pattern is same. The UX pattern is when discovering through search, it automatically should populate the stuff that I'm looking at. That is a UX pattern. And we can easily use these kind of UX patterns from these common products. So we'll go more deeper inside all these things. But this is in a nutshell the reason we are going into this is because we can use these as building blocks to design our own experiences. Now, need for UX design pattern. Why do we need UX pattern also? That user familiarity is something that we deep dived and we went through all these examples. Then usability. So when people are using Netflix, they are used to this kind of a way of things appearing. I can type thriller and it's super extremely nice experience where I am just typing and every single letter I add full canvas of how many 18 movies with one letter. The movies keep on changing. So this is extremely important, this kind of a UX pattern. But how you want to use it in a context of e-commerce? Let's say now I look at here, I go to Amazon.in and I search yoga. This is also very powerful. It is giving me a set of these kind of things. Now, uh, what do you guys observe when you see this suggested thing? What is the one thing that you see as a pattern related to yoga? But look at the design detail here. What is the design detail? Yes, after typing, the bold part is coming. Be more specific. Suggestions are in bold, right? Suggestions are in bold. What you feed is not in bold, right? Look at Google. Suggestions are in bold, right? Goes to because you have to specify it in your actual like work which you hand off. You have to specify these things. In Netflix, see, I am looking for, let's look at Spotify. I'm asking for, let's say, roots, but it is not celebrating the opposite end. Do you see there is a break in the pattern? Because everything is mixed, right? In the same altitude. So we have to, as a designer, just look at the small nuance. We have to spend some time to create this pattern, that this is a pattern that we are suggesting based on our study from uh, Amazon and Google, that the feed-in thing will be light, the suggested thing will be bold. There might be scenarios where the suggested thing is light and the feed-in thing is bold. You will just try to observe it today, because the search experience you will feel what's in it. But see, there are so many details in it. Sometimes in your product, let's say you're working on a XYZ kind of a product, where your search is as complex as this. See, look at the Google search result or search suggestion types. What do you observe here? Let me search. Yeah. What do you see here? What are the search result or search suggestion types? What are the search? These are search suggestions, right? So what are the types that you can observe here? Yes, it's front of you. Like how we were talking about bold and non-bold. So, so either it is going to find you the absolute, references. If it has a image, it is going to render that image, right? But sometimes, like if I click on Tokyo Skytree, it will take me to Tokyo Skytree image, right, from here. But if I search again TOK, and if I look on Tokimaster, it will also take me to this. So this is a explicit search page, Tokimaster and all. But sometimes you will feed an image here. Sometimes you will not feed an image here when you are confused what image to refer to. If the image is not on the first search result, see Tokyo Swindlers, you have reference images for Tokyo Swindlers, right? And that's where Tokyo Swindlers comes with this image first. So your search result either will have image and text metadata in two layers, or it is not going to have image. It will just have the search icon and this. But the complexity here begins in which order it should bring, right? So do you see any pattern in the order? I don't see actually. So this is where you have to go detail into these concepts that you are building, because the logic, creating that logic thing and the rational thing is fueled by the user need. So you can say that either it goes from most popular to least popular, most searched things with TOK, or it goes alphabetically. You have to give some logic, right? In which way it is sorted, right? Without that logic, things will be here and there. I mean, you have no logic. Some things are coming, some things are not coming, like that. So this specific example here, and when you look at the Amazon experiences, get yoga bat or yoga bar oats. So let us just look at this example. Yoga mat 8 mm, yoga bar muesli. So how do you think this experience can bring more value? A pattern which doesn't exist, but what if we want to create a pattern in search? So first, don't get stressed. Typing yoga here, I am seeing yoga and then 10 options, right? But then out of these 10 options, what happens is that, see, if I click on yoga bar, I go to yoga bar and then I'm like, oh, no, not this one. I go back and then again I do yoga, right? And then again I see a lot of options. Maybe I'm not sure if I have seen the same options before. And then now what do I do? Again, click on something. If I don't like, I go back. So there is some kind of a friction here which can be solved through user experience. What kind of things that you can think of? Where the problem that we are identifying here is that, so in this kind of multiple reference, search reference option, this kind of a UX pattern, and if we are doing it for our own project, then we have to go back and forth, right? Maybe we can do yoga bar cashew, yeah. Search option should at every page. So you are saying, Ansh, that if I click on yoga bar cashew, then this drop down should stay. Say I come here Now when I click here, I have to, remove it and then again say. So you are seeing inside every page, you have the search references. So that's where this is a complex product coming up. You can solve it through multiple ways. One option is what, Ansh, you are suggesting that because see, there are some set mindsets here that once you click something, enter through that keyword, right? It fills that keyword. And that's at that time, the other things, because they were recommended based on Y or G, whatever you typed. Now their relevance are gone. You're getting it, Ansh? We cannot say here that you typed Y or G and these are the because now people can see yoga bar cashew. So one of my friends, he tried solving it in a very novel ways. What he did was, and this is the kind of problem that you will be asked in your interviews. This is or something similar to it. We will try to see how quickly you can, think around something. So let's say, yoga bar. So what he did is that on hover, there is a preview state on the right. So you look, you have a fair idea, then you click. So you expanded this pattern on the right. Make sense? Right? So this is a UX problem that we discussed. We tried to solve this problem. Right? So there are a lot of nuances inside, hidden inside all these things. So going back, what is consistency? Consistency is that when I am doing something, what I did for this particular page. Yeah, so in mobile version, you basically have the drop down and I think it's long press with which you decided, but I don't know if he has worked on the mobile version. Also not sure if that platform will go to the mobile version also, but that's another problem which comes. So when we say consistency, when we work with your product managers will give you few feedback every now and then. One of the feedback will be your feature is not discoverable. So one of the problems that you have to solve is your feature not being discoverable. Okay. The second one is that too many clicks to get to what you want to do. Then the third thing that you will see is it doesn't look inconsistent. Inconsistent navigation. I will talk about inconsistent navigation. Right. And so these are some of the things. And the last one is that the hierarchy doesn't look nice. Hierarchy. So these are people, business people. They don't know anything about design, but they are human beings. They are from the business side. What is the problem that can happen for not being discoverable? Do you know what KPI is hampered? Adoption, you guys understand, right? Yeah. What I'm saying is that not being discoverable, the problem is you and your developers and your product managers, you worked on a feature. And then the feature is, let us say, look at this Spotify. We worked on or let's say this feature in Google. Yeah. Let's say I am feeling lucky. But this I am feeling lucky never comes here. It comes on the next page or something. You haven't made it upfront, not as direct as this one. Or let's say, what all features do you see here? One is this Google is a simple search bar, but you can search by voice. You can search by image. Let's say you added a drop down here, or we know, right? Clear trip. All of you remember clear trip's discoverability problem? Round trip and single trip, right? So if we added this pattern here, let's say search by voice, search by image, I am feeling lucky is added here. Say I am feeling lucky, maybe I add a lucky icon here, right? And people know what lucky icon looks like. I can add it here. Fourth, maybe I want to add some other feature. So that feature can be, let's say, um, search by or build on your previous search, let's say. So four icons. Now four icons, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there is a cross. It will look crowded. So as a UX designer, you decide that let me use this UX pattern. What is the UX pattern? Who can tell me? Drop down, right? Let me see, you decided to use a drop down pattern. But then here when I come, where do I do round trip? There is a discoverability problem. So your product manager will say the adoption of round trip feature will be very low because people will not be able to discover it. And how do you solve it? Radio button. So how do you solve that Google problem? You bring different hierarchy. Okay, these two icons here. I am feeling lucky because feeling lucky is a very complex thing to communicate. We'll not use icon here. And we are going to, we're creating freezing for, I'm showing the Google screen now. So that's how basically you create different hierarchy for different elements. And that's how you solve this kind of problems, right? What did we discover? And please, these 4 points that I just shared, focus on these things for all your interviews because people are going to ask about these things in part of your interview, right? So what matrix gets hampered when too many clicks come? The NSAT, there is a satisfaction score for every experience that is measured. That goes down, poor usability happens, right? When we look at consistency, the consistency thing is that whenever we go through navigation, we enter into a particular screen, let's say pencil cases, and we click on this thing. And every page, irrespective of the product type, every single page of Amazon is going to look like exactly same, right? Suppose you have more images than 4 images, right? Every page, when you hover, the images become bigger. When you hover more, the images become more bigger, right? So this is a pattern with which, this Amazon, is doing the product reveal. Let us go to, any other product. This is another pencil box. And so on the left hand side, what do you see? 3 plus 3 more. So when you click on 3 more, you basically look at all the different images like this, right? And this entire experience comes in a modal like this. And no matter what, you click on this pencil box or any pencil box, but we're looking at only pencil boxes. Let us look at, this particular product also. Everything comes in the same way. And to maintain this consistency, that is why using variants help us adhere to this UX principle that it has to be consistent, right? So we support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 images. On hover, every image changes, and on hovering on these tiles and on hovering on the image, a big image opens up like this. This is the overall experience of Amazon, like that. And when you click on 2 more, you go to this particular modal where you can look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the images. And when we look at these patterns, whenever you are looking at these kind of consistent patterns, you have to look at design for scale. So this is another thing that you guys might be asked. This is the 5th point. What is the design for scalability thing that you observed here? What is the design for scalability slide here? Yes, the pictures. What is the design for T factor here? Consistency is there. Design for scalability means that we can add more photographs. Means we are respecting our sellers to be free with adding as many images as they want. We may have minimum 1 image criteria in this platform, but if anyone wants to promote their product, we are not stopping them from doing it. So how the UX pattern evolved over here is that we are going to move it till 6 thumbnails, right? And everything is consistent. Okay. But this 3 plus can be scaled to 20 plus also. And if you guys remember, Airbnb also has the design for scalability thing. No matter how many images you have, you keep on adding them. So when you click it, and it takes you to a new page, this is where you go to show all photos, and that's where you see all the images, right? But they don't stop you from uploading. So here, as we are talking about design for scalability, there is one more important thing which comes here, which is called progressive disclosure. Keywords that you will need as industry jargons. Progressive disclosure. What is progressive about this thing? First, at this level, I can look at all the images. I can click on the image. It takes me to a new tab where I can look at a thumbnail, like a collage of 6 images. Then when I click on show all photos, it takes me to this page, right? Progressively discloses everything. The last part is so heavy, so much of data that they had to use progressive disclosure, otherwise the system will crash. Look at Amazon. Okay. First of all, when you land into a page, let's say I land into this pencil box page, right? So it's a really happy page, high resolution, good image, but progressively discloses other images, right? Not only that, progressively it makes it bigger also. And when you click them, then you go to the highest experience of enjoying the images. If this was the first page of your landing experience, imagine you created this page, then a lot of this important information like pricing, like call to action, like reviews, there are multiple important information which helps you in buying a product. It's not only image that helps you in buying a product. You have to look at price, you have to look at discounts, you have to look at offers, you have to look at thousands of things. Then you decide that I'm going to buy. So that's in order to respect everything. So everything needs equal attention. So in your research, you will find that I can buy a product only when I see that the number of reviews are more than 100. When the average rating is more than 4 star. We need so many data for us to behave, for us to believe, and then we try to take a decision. So now when so many conflicting or competing data, they try to prove their importance. More than star rating is the most important thing. So let me come in big size. Or price is the most important. Let me come in big size. Offer is the most important thing. So what happens is that the UX becomes cluttered. So in order to have a negotiation, every UX section, they basically say that, okay, we will all stay together happily, but we will progressively disclose ourselves. See, isn't this guy progressively disclosing itself? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offers like this. Isn't this guy progressively disclosing itself? So these are all progressive disclosure patterns. EMI options. So this is a progressive disclosure pattern. And look at the complexity and the beauty of this progressive disclosure pattern. I'm just hovering, not even clicking. This thing is coming up and I can go inside. What are these elements called? Tabs. So it's a whole tab structure, so much of information because it is really important. Let's say I want to bike. Now in Amazon, you can buy bikes also, right? Who has bought a bike in Amazon? Feeling little like a real bike you can buy in Amazon. So these delivery boys come to deliver a bike. I'm like, I stay in 15th floor delivery. Yeah. Maybe I thought it's a bike, small toy bike, but it's a real one. But look at this one. For buying this thing, most important thing might be this guy, right? It's a 1,20,000 thing. So many people will be driven by the no cost EMI options here. So it is a complex financial mechanism progressively disclosed in a small all EMI plan, cute thing, not overwhelming your shopping experience. Isn't it true? Such a beautiful, right? When you look at all the offers, keeps on going. It's a carousel, controlled carousel. Here also look at the different things that you get. Now when you come here, you'll see that this about this item, this thing usually comes in Amazon. So let's say I click this particular bike. I'm not sure if it will have a lot of description. Yes. See more product details. This is also progressive disclosure, guys. When I go here, I come to this page. If I had to put this on the top, just try to redesign this Amazon page by giving importance to everything because your research will say everything is important. Without progressive disclosure pattern, you will not be able to solve it, right? So this is where I'm spending time because you guys need to understand the importance of it. Okay, and then these are all suggestions. These are values offered to you, similar bikes, similar products and all those stuff. And when you go below, these are all some carousels added. Okay, and when you go here, you see some reviews. On the last, you see more reviews. What is this pattern then? To progressively disclose all the information, not at one go. User familiarity, usability, accessibility, trustworthiness, faster learning. These are in a nutshell things that you should consider. Now we will go here UX pattern and UI pattern. So UX patterns are basically reusable patterns for user flows, like infinite or continuous scroll on a social media platform, Instagram. The scroll never ends, right? The user recognizes that they can scroll down to refresh the page. So it's a learned behavior, and you are leveraging on that mental model to create your product, which is a dating app, right? UI pattern. Reusable patterns for visual and interaction design, like a hamburger icon, a button, an accordion menu, and all those stuff. Then common examples of UX design patterns. So although we talked about a lot of them, but then data input and output. So when we were looking at the search example, I think we understood that the input and output mechanism, that's a really important thing. We saw how Netflix has handled it. We saw how Amazon has handled it. We saw how Google has handled it. Content structuring. We spent some time with the Amazon example, and now we understand that with a lot of conflicting importance, from user research, how do we structure the content differently with progressive disclosures, layers of progressive disclosures, like how Amazon images work. Okay. Then navigation, don't look at navigation that happens inside a product from the homepage to a product that you reach. So when we were looking at the Flipkart example, from any page to any page, I can go in a single click. That is the beauty of this navigation. So even if I deeper inside, let's say PlayStation 5, right? Let's say I go deeper inside this Piper Healthcare mini fridge. At this level also, I can go back to any other detail that I want. So also when I'm here, I can also see frequently bought together. I can see, you might be interested in. I am also seeing similar product. So while I'm in the altitude of a single product, I'm getting enough hand holding to find similar product, like the packaged products, frequently bought together products. So it is basically scaling my shopping quota to shop more basically. More you shop, more money they earn, right? Like this. But at the same time, I can go immediately back to any other thing. Like I can go back to industrial testing devices, and it is going to bring me industrial testing devices for me, right? And here also, let me look at thermometer. See, isn't this search reminding you of some pattern that you just saw? Some of them may have image, some of them may not have image, right? So, but this problem is nicely solved. This is the category gets this image. The category gets this image, and let me just, yeah. So whatever category you see under storage box, under mains thermal, which is a good logic that they have used, and this is where you can go deep inside these categories. So, and here also the input is in light color. The suggestions are in not bold but dark color. So here bold and light is not used for hierarchy. Color is used for hierarchy, right? Light color gray and darker gray for hierarchy is used. Whereas in Google, what was happening, or in Amazon, what was happening? If we were looking for, let's say, Royal Enfield, here also you will see color only, but I think this is bold and non-bold use for hierarchy, right? Between the fade-in thing and the suggested thing, like this. So, yeah, and then incentivization can happen non-monetarily also, like when you give them this kind of EMI opportunities, offers, and all those stuff. By the way, and hierarchy is something which we'll keep on discussing. Hierarchy, helps you build the way you scan information. Hierarchy keeps you on top of everything. Whenever you will look at these things, you'll see that the size is bigger, then this is smaller and gray in color. This is gray in color, but this is dark in color. So that when you are reading it, for you, free delivery is important, but the date is more important. What is more important gets more priority. Then we go to the next part. This is an